All right, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Start with the feet and really try and get a sense of the soles of the feet on the ground, in the floor. Take a nice deep breath. Have your hips and your knees about a hip's width apart, and just have your hands resting very gently in your lap, comfortably. And you can be sitting on top of your sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your ears are aligned with your shoulders. And now imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretch from the base all the way up through the crown of their head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. Put some space in between your vertebrae. And now go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Just maybe you'll notice any sensation there. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the eyelashes, the nose, the cheeks. The area around the mouth, back of the tongue, back of the head, the temples and the ears and the inner ear. So when I say the back of the head, I mean the base of the skull where the occipital bone area is. Maybe try and lengthen the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and all of your limbs. Notice the sensation of the air of coming in and out of the nostrils, but maybe notice all of the breath sensations. The chest, the ribs expanding, the belly, the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. The crickets are still singing. A few nights ago they stopped. I think it was probably too cold. So try not to go off and investigate those, all the sounds. And the same can be for any olfactory senses, anything you're smelling. And then notice what thoughts are arising in the mind, and just have this attitude of curiosity and observation without judgment. So just suspend your judgment. Take a step back from what you see. It's just developing some kind of awareness. And then bring to mind all the people of your life. So the ones that you love, your precious loved ones, the ones you don't like so much, and the strangers, and just be aware that they're all equal. They're all equal. They're also all interchangeable, these relationships. They can shift from friend to stranger, from stranger to friend, enemy to stranger, enemy to friend, friend to enemy, stranger to enemy. And the way they're equal is they have this wish to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we start by thinking that there isn't any negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And you can also regret any delusions, anger, attachment, the rest, that are really the cause of why we harm others. So then we think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. So we're not relying on Vajrasattva as a higher being who's going to forgive us for all our sins kind of thing. We're looking toward Vajrasattva for his medicine or his methods that we can use. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to this power of remedy. And this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And imagine Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring out of you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorecta meboa, sawasidi mimpiata sawa kama sita me, sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, and this includes yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, just imagine you've walked into a room, it's dark, you flick on the switch, and the light that instantly comes is dispelling the darkness. So think of it like that next time you walk into a room. You're not switching on the light, you're dispelling darkness. So the same here, the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachments and neediness and bitterness and grudges, resentment, jealousy, anxiety, depression, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Ajita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva very compassionately sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorecta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboal Sitrokaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anorakta Meboal Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboal Sitrukaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anorekta Meboal Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboal Sitrukaya Meboal Sipokaya Meboal Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorekta Meboa Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to refrain from harming. So you know how nothing happens unless you decide it's going to. So it's the same here. You need to decide, I want to refrain from harming. And you know, we might not have an idea of all the ways in which we do harm. So some of it's inadvertent. Sometimes we just don't mean to. But so all we're doing here is to maybe shine a light on a little bit more, you know, things that we can come a little bit more aware of. And slowly, slowly over time, things will change. So think of, first of all, rejoicing your efforts turning up here. So some of us had to do a little bit of a circular way to get in. So we'll for all of your effort in trying to get in tonight. Rejoice for that. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Some habit you have that you might want to sort of just draw attention to. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness for a little bit here. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment, the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's also dedicate for Lorraine said she sprained her ankle. So there you go. And then just sending out lots of light and love to all those people that you know in your life who need it right now. So there may be somebody in your life that might need a little bit of support, light support, positive energy support. So send that out to them. So let's just read 3 verses of chanting the names of Manjushri. So completely free from every kind of substrate, establishing firmly on the path of space, a splendid wish-fulfilling jewel in hand, the best of all that's precious, omnipresent. Great wish-fulfilling tree, most plentiful, the greatest of all great auspicious vases, filling the aims of living beings, a doer, an ally most beloved to all creatures. Aware of good and bad, aware of times, the omnipresent knower of the pledges, upholding pledges, conscious of occasions, awake to varied aptitudes in beings, with expertise in threefold liberation. So let's just dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and then for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for all of your own precious teachers.